so I don't forget. I'm going to share screen. Okay. Can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, so it is awesome to have kind of coming together tonight. And Kenzie came to me last week and said, hey, let's do one together. And I said, well, my team has a call next week, so let's just combine then. And it's just great to have all of us together. I'm thankful that we have this time. I'm also really grateful for all the people who are willing to speak tonight and share their experiences from Summit with us, their insights and things like that. So thank you to all of you who committed to share with us tonight. But my team, the way I always start, I'm just going to stick to it because it's me. I always welcome, and we start with a prayer. So if you are willing, go ahead and join me in a prayer. Lord, I thank you for this awesome group of people. I thank you for the blessing that this business has been to many of us in such unexpected ways, and the wonderful friendships and relationships that we've formed. And I just thank you for another opportunity to come together tonight to hear each other's stories and to grow and to hopefully continue to move our businesses forward so that they leave this awesome ripple effect that we've all had the chance to experience. So bless our time tonight. Help us to have our ears open to hear guidance for ways to continue moving forward. Pray this in your name. Amen. All right. So, let me see. Who all's here now? I can't see. Did Kenzie get on? Are you here, Kenzie? No? Okay. All right. Well, I will go through all the announcements. Basically, what we have is just we're sharing all of the announcements we heard from Summit, and then we're going to hear from each other. So, first up, you probably heard everybody talking about the health bet coming up very soon here. I am going to mute us. I hear some background.
Gosh.
There we go. That's better. Okay, so the health bet is coming up. It is for a challenge group starting September 5th on the My Challenge Tracker app. Has to be on there for that 30-day long challenge group. Every person who logs a minimum of 3 workouts and 5 Shakeologies a week, they are going to, and that has to include pictures. You have to have your pictures to document it. All of those people are going to be entered into equally split a pot that started at $1 million. And Beachbody, I believe, is donating $5 for every challenge pack that people sign up for this month and last. So right now, what I saw at the last National Wake Up Call is we're up to 1.3 million in that pot. And I don't know about you guys, but I've already had some really great response. People just asking a lot of questions and wondering, like, is this too good to be true? I've had a lot of people ask me that, like, what's the catch? And I'm like, you guys, there really is no catch. It's truly like, you get to earn money by bettering your health. That's exactly what it is. So Beachbody is willing to put that $1 million plus out there on the line, betting that you guys, us, our challengers, everybody is going to get results. So I think it is awesome. I wanted to show you, I did one post for it Monday, earlier this week, and I totally got this from Anita Myron's page. That's where I found it. So I tweaked it, made it my own. That's what we do, right? We recycle and make it our own. I found this post from her, and it went over pretty well. I got a lot of likes and engagement on it, a few comments, but then I had a whole bunch of people flood my inbox saying, what is this all about? And just started some really good conversations. So not all of them are amounting to somebody signing up for it right this moment, but it started a lot of communication between people that I had never talked with before. So definitely make sure that you get at least one time in the next week leading up to this, some kind of invite post out there. Not salesy, but something that engages your following, because this is going to be a great thing to get people involved. Okay, next up, Beachbody On Demand news. We had Fixate Cooking Show. I don't know if you guys realize this, it debuts tomorrow. And basically what that is going to be is a cooking show with Autumn and her brother. And they are going to be showing us all kinds of different recipes that we can use on our own at home. And it's basically an extension of the Fixate cookbook. It looks incredible. I'm really, really excited about it. I don't know how often it is going to be airing, but I don't know if they'll talk about that tomorrow on the show or not, but I'm going to be tuning in. I'm excited to get some more recipes. And again, that is free on BOD. Also, if you did not take the chance to, you have a little bit of time left tonight. The sneak peek for the 3-week yoga retreat program, new program coming out the 1st of September, is today. And I did it this morning and I really, really loved it. It's the kind of program where everybody who has had trouble with yoga or was always intimidated by it, or maybe wanted to try it, but they were like, I don't really want to go to one of those yoga studios because they're kind of, I don't know, different. It's for all of those people. So it's going to be perfect for anybody who just wants to give it a try. And it is a 3-week long program. It will be 30 minutes a day. And it's super simple. Like, I followed it really easily today. And I think my favorite part of it was I didn't have to be in my awkward downward dog position and then try to look up at the TV or my computer, back and forth. Like, I could really just listen and stay centered and follow along pretty easily. So something pretty exciting. And then one of the things that Carl shared with us at Summit was that this program is actually going to be one of the free Beachbody On Demand programs. So even though it's a brand new program coming out, it is going to be free on BOD. So that means if you have those people that have told you forever that they don't have money and they really, really, really want to do it, this is just a great way to get them in the door, get them signed up for that free 30-day membership to BOD, and they can do a full program and try it out for 3 weeks. And that, to me, is going to be a golden opportunity for a lot of people that I've been talking with on and off for a long time that couldn't ever afford, one of the challenge packs. So just something to keep in mind for those particular people. Next, oh my goodness, Core de Force. It is going to be coming out prior to Black Friday in November. This is an MMX-based workout with the new trainers, Joel and Jericho. It will be 30-minute workouts for 30 days. Again, it's just a month-long program. I think they kind of saw how awesome the 21-Day Fix kind of programs went over, and they're sticking with that shorter program. I had the opportunity, I was supposed to go to a Shalene workout at Summit, but we ended up getting there late. So I switched over and I went to Joel and Jericho, and I honestly was disappointed because it's not Shalene. And I got there, I went in that morning, and I loved them. I'd never done one of their workouts on BOD. It was my first time ever really getting to see their personalities, and it was a lot of fun. They just have, she's very spunky, and he kind of offsets her. They just play off of each other really well. So really, really awesome new super trainers. And they also helped us do the super workout and gave us kind of a sneak peek, one of the sessions, or not one of the sessions, what would you call it? One of the snippets, 3-minute things for Core de Force. I got to work on my lingo with that. That was what we got to try at the super workout. And it was awesome. It was so, so, so cool. If you've done P90X3 and you like Tony Horton's MMX, it's just like that, but it's going to be for 30 minutes straight. So, and that'll be for 30 days. So new awesome program coming out in November. Another exciting announcement from Summit was that the Coach online office is going to be going mobile, which made all of us very excited. I don't know the time frame for it. They said that the elite coaches will be starting their trial with it soon, just kind of like they did with the My Challenge Tracker app, and gonna see it, how it goes, trial it, and then hopefully we will get to follow shortly, being able to access all of that on our phones too. So that makes me super excited. All right, that is all of the major announcements. We had several people volunteer to share insight, aha moments, any kind of thing that they just felt like could be beneficial for our teams to hear, what was spoken to them at Summit, because many of us sat in the same sessions, had the opportunity to hear incredible speakers, and we came out with different takeaways because each of us are at different places in our business and in our journey. So I just thought it would be neat to hear from different people what were those big aha things that they took away. So I have Melissa, Jill, Victoria, Pam, Annie, myself, and Kenzie are going to share. If Kenzie hops on, I hope she's here. But Melissa, are you here right now? I don't see. Oh, she's there. Okay, let me see. I can unmute you. There you are. All right.
Yay!
Hey, what do you have to share with us?
I don't know. I'm pretty new, so Summit was the experience to be around all the coaches is amazing, just to be in that feel with everybody on the same page. So if you didn't get to go, do it next year. It's worth the investment. It's worth your time just to spend all that time with other people with like-mindedness. It's really an exciting journey to be at. You know, I got to meet Christy in person for the first time, and it's kind of fun to meet some of those faces that seem so successful, you know, getting to meet other people. So it's kind of fun to see that those people are really just real life people too, that they just did this at their own. But my big takeaway from Summit was it's not easy, but it's doable. It's frustrating at times, but you can get through it, and to surround yourself with a good team so that you have somebody to whine to when you're having a hard day or stuff like that. So I think that was my biggest takeaway is developing those relationships with your team is huge, because it's going to carry you through the hard times.
That's awesome. And we did. Like, our team grew tremendously in our relationships with one another and are really leaning on each other now. So I totally agree.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one extra thing? Like, as a
Sure.
probably you're 5 months now? 5 months in, is that right? Like, you went right when you hit success,
yeah,
right?
almost 5 months.
Yeah. So like, as that brand new, still very new to it, coach, like, was there any like reservations that you had going to that event? And like, any of those things, I know when I first started, I had a lot of pent up things that I still wasn't like sure about, that I was still figuring out about, that I'd maybe still had some skepticism towards. Did you have any of that going in? And was there any of that was like relieved for you? Like, I experienced that. So I was just wondering if you had that.
I'm really an optimistic person all the time. I'm like, oh, it's going to work. I'm going to do great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure. And so for me, going to Summit was really all about meeting you guys in person and getting to have that face-to-face recognition and to know somebody and kind of say, oh, I talked to her in person. It's not just a phone. So to me, it was more about building relationships, kind of thing. But I'm generally not a person who is nervous about stuff. I'm not an anxious person. I just kind of jump in sometimes before I think about it, and then I'm like, oh, what happened? What did I do? But then I'm already in there and it's too late, so you just go for it. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Okay, and then I had Jill. Let me see. Oops. Can I unmute you? There we go. Are you there, Jill?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So just like Melissa said, Summit was amazing. This was my first Summit. I've been a coach for about 18 months, and I had remembered going to Super Saturday right after they came back from Summit last year, and I was just like in awe of everything they were talking about, and everybody just seemed like they were absolutely on fire. And that was the day that I decided there's nothing that's stopping me from going next year. And I did. So
Even with the flu, right?
What's that?
Even with the flu, nothing was stopping you.
Exactly. I didn't even let the flu stop me. And it tried. That was the worst bug I've ever had in my life. But my biggest takeaway was that I needed to throw out the excuses. I wrote stuff down because I tend to just like babble if I don't write things down. So the first one was about my confidence, and just throwing out the excuse that like I have a ways to go in my fitness journey. I don't look like the typical picture of health, and I've let that be an excuse for me for a long time. And being at Summit, surrounded by coaches of every shape, size, fitness level, ability, it was really eye-opening and really welcoming, and just helped me to realize that's a lame excuse, and that needs to go away. And so that helped my confidence, and just in being more confident in myself and my abilities, and that there are people out there that are looking to me for help. So my second one was that listening to top coach after top coach after top coach, I realized that they don't have or didn't have anything more than what we have. And in some cases, they had less than what we have to move our businesses forward. And it just made me realize that there's no reason that can't be me in a year or two, or any of us. And the only difference between them and me is that they never stopped, and they never let no stop them. So that's been a big thing that I've been pushing since coming back from Summit. And the biggest takeaway I had was, why not me? And I was sitting at the airport with a couple of coaches before we were leaving for Summit, and we were kind of talking about that. And it was kind of weird, because that was like just the thing running through my head the entire Summit. Was every coach we saw, everything that we did, I just thought, why can't that be me? And it can be any of us. And that was really liberating and just really kind of overwhelming, but that's what I've taken home with me. And since coming home, I'm putting things in motion and realizing that I can't just keep watching these trainings and keep watching up, coaches that are above me. I have to put these things in action. So I'm making my power hour every day non-negotiable, my workout non-negotiable, and my Shakeology every day, no matter what. So that was my blabby takeaways. But
that is awesome, Jill. Thank you. Very, very nice. Okay. Victoria, are you here? Let's see. I see her name. Is
Yes.
her name here? There you are. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. So I have social anxiety, so I was super nervous to go to Summit because I don't do well in crowds. I quit my job like 10 months ago, and I stay home and I raise my baby, and I don't go out in public much, and so I'm just super awkward now. I feel like I have no social skills anymore. So I was really nervous for Summit, and it was like incredible to be surrounded by so many people that were actually nice, and everyone was really supportive, and it was awesome. It was definitely what I needed, for sure. But I learned that I had a lot of habits that were more geared towards a fitness coach and not a CEO. So I ran my business more all the time and sporadic, and it would piss off my husband all the time, and I would get overwhelmed and would just shut down after a while because I would have too much of him yelling, and just I wasn't operating like a CEO. I was operating like a fitness coach. So to hear that, it was like, wow. I'm glad I'm not the only one, but I got the steps and the tools to gear it the other way.
Okay, can I press you on that? What were like the biggest things that you have to apply to go from that fitness coach to a CEO?
Set business hours. For sure. That's helped a lot. And then being consistent. That's
huge, right?
Because I would just get so overwhelmed and then have all of that in with it, and I would just shut down, and then I would shut down for a couple of days, and that's definitely not idea.
That's right, Kaya. All right. Thank you for sharing, Victoria.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next up, Pam. Pam, we were both at Summit, and I didn't even get to meet you. It makes me really sad. So, hi.
Hello. So I've been a coach for a little over 2 years, and this was the first summit. I was supposed to go last year, but we had a death in the family, and I wasn't able to go. And so, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Anyway, so I went to Summit, and I shared a room with Melissa and Kinsey and a couple of other ladies I'd never met. We'd never met in person, and so that was an interesting experience. It turned out really well, and I'm glad I got to do that. But I got to meet some new people and build relationships, and we had the best time. But Summit, for me, was a huge turning point. My takeaways are that, why not me? When you get to Summit, you see there's people from every different walk of life. As Jill put it, there's, every shape, color, everything. You see it all. And it's just amazing to see so many different people from different backgrounds come together, and we're all, on the same mission to change lives. And it's, I don't know, it was an amazing experience. And so one of the biggest things that I took away from that was, why not me? I've seen all these other people do it, and I have the same skills. I can do it too. So some of the things that they talked about, the CEO mindset, be consistent. That's something that I hadn't been doing. I hadn't been consistent with the vital behaviors, and those are key. We really have to focus on those every day. And that power hour, I didn't do that very good before Summit. And that is something that I've been trying to get my butt out of bed at 4 o'clock every morning and get it done so that I can get my workout done and go to work and then come home and do mom stuff. And I know that that's what it's going to take if I want this business to work for me and for my family. Also, they talked about be patient, because success doesn't happen overnight. You have to be consistent. Be consistent with your actions and what you're doing, and building those relationships and starting conversations. and it takes time. But once you do that for a couple of months and you keep doing it, success is going to come. Success Club. I know everybody is probably tired of hearing that, but it is so important. If you want to build your business, you have to hit Success Club. Also, that's how you get your leads and different things like that. So it's very important. Probably the biggest takeaway that I kept hearing over and over and over is be you. Be you and be authentic. I think everybody knows who Lindsay Matway is and the Bombshell Dynasty, but, we're not all blonde bombshells. And I think that's what's important. I mean, Beachbody is for everybody. It's not about that. And so I think it's important to be yourself, put that out on social media, and you'll attract your vibe. Your vibe will attract your tribe. And I think that is so important. One of the things that we talked about, or that I learned about in one of the sessions, was in the social media and branding thing. We're not salespeople. We're inspiring people to live life a little bit differently. So when you make your posts, these are the 3 things that they talked about. What is painfully normal about me? You should make a list and write these things down. What do I need to overcome? What makes you special and unique? And these are some things that you should take into consideration when you make your post for Facebook. And I know it's hard sometimes. I struggle. I'm busy and I'm like, oh, I haven't posted. I need to do something. But it's really important that your message comes across and that, that it's you. Let's see. I don't know, believe in yourself and envision what you want out of this business. That was something that I heard a lot of too. And I know that sounds, if you don't do this, it sounds crazy, but the positive affirmations, I try to, when I get in bed before I fall asleep, I envision where this business is going to take me and my family. I'm not in this for the money. I guess that's not my goal. I want to help people, but I'm in it for the freedom that it can bring for my family. And that's my goal. And those are the things that I think about. So I don't know, if you haven't bought your summit ticket for next year, get on the waiting list because you have to be there. It's pretty awesome. So I don't have anything else.
Thank you. That was awesome. Can I ask you to share those 3 questions for posting in our event page? Because I love that.
Yep.
That's good.
I don't remember.
Say that again. I'm
can
sorry.
do that. I don't remember who led that session. I don't remember, but I have that written down. But I'll share it.
That's great. I think that's really important because a lot of us get, stuck in our normal posting things. And so that was something that stood out to me too, was really focused on posting, but that's a great how to. So please share that. Okay. Annie, you are up next. Where are you at? There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I wrote some things down about Summit. If you haven't been to Summit, it's a must. You have to go. It brings your team together. It fueled my fire. Honestly, before I went to Summit, I was ready to quit. And I'm so glad that I went. I went with one of my coach above me that I've known for a year or so, but the rest of the girls, I didn't know them at all. And it brought us really close together. Vital behaviors was a big thing. You have to do your vital behaviors. Your posting consistency. One of the sessions I was in, they talked about how when you post, talk like you're talking to a friend. Be yourself and speak it out loud first to yourself. And if it's not something that you would say to a dear friend, then don't post it. Another thing was be a product of the product. You have to be your workouts, your Shakeology, non-negotiable. I also said in another session about getting a success partner. And a lot of people talked about how important it is to get a success partner in this business. Another big takeaway I had was do not compare yourself to other coaches. And they talked about that kill Facebook deal where you kill everybody. I don't know. You kill everybody else's posts. You did that, I think, Christy. But I haven't did that yet. I just can't do it. I need to. But I struggle with that a lot. I compare myself to other coaches and coaches that started after me and are doing better than me. And that's something I need to stop doing. This business is a roller coaster. There's gonna be ups and downs, and you have to stick with it and not quit. That's what I was about to do. And personal development, big thing, is a must. And then another takeaway I had, somebody said, no doesn't mean no, it means not yet. So don't give up on those people that say no. Go reach back out to them in 6 months or so and ask them again. And the last thing I wrote down was don't ever forget why you started. So that is all I had.
Thank you, Annie. That's all good stuff. Okay, and I believe we're down to Kinsey and myself. And I'll go ahead and go first, Kinsey. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, I am like Jill. I have to write it down or else I start going all over the place. So first of all, I totally echo everything that every person has said. Go to Summit. If you did not get to go this year, you have to go. It is incredible. I didn't get to go last year because I kind of had a baby like the week before. So it just didn't work for me last year. But I made it this year, and I had not only the time of my life, but it just brought this business that I've been falling in love with for the last 2 years just to life. And it made me go like totally head over heels. It was one of those just mind-blowing times to see all of the incredibly positive, fun people. One of my absolute favorite experiences was not like a training growth time. It was going to the Success Club party and getting to rock out to Billy Idol, who I thought I was going to hate. And I had so much fun. I didn't know anybody around me. My husband and I went, and we danced our butts off. We had so much fun being ridiculous. And it was just that environment where everybody was there having a good time. There was like no judgment. It was just, we're having fun. We're a family connected over thousands of miles, but we came together and we just had an amazing time. And it was like in that moment that night, all of my like nervousness and anxiety I'd had about coming kind of broke away. And it set the mood for the rest of the time for me. And that relationship piece just took off after that. My team and I got to grow together face to face, actually being like present with one another, those of us that were there. And that was one of my absolute favorite parts of it. Now, as far as like takeaways go, one of the quotes that was said, I can't even remember who wrote it. I just kind of jotted quick things down. They said, this business is about belief, trusting the process. And that hit home with me because we have a lot of times where it's really incredibly hard. And if we haven't been doing our personal development, it's even harder, right? Because we have those mental games going on. If you're like me and you deal with anxiety, you're already in your own mind all the time. And you're constantly trying to like rewrite those phrases that you have in your mind, the go-to scripts that you have. And it was just huge for me to remember that it's my belief in this working and actually being the real deal that is going to get me to where I want to be. If I believe without a shadow of a doubt that this lifestyle is for everyone, then I can do this day in and day out, hearing no's, hearing all kinds of things that we hear, and I can still press on because I believe in it. So it's one of those things you have to like gut check yourself. If you're sitting here right now and you're like, I don't know if I believe it, maybe it's not going to work for you if I'm just being blunt. That's the way it is. Like, you have to have that, like, in your belly, in your heart, deep down belief that this can work, not only for you, but for every person out there, and that they need it too. One of the next things was along those lines: do not quit being consistent, and do not quit, period. The thing that set the people apart that were up there on the stage speaking, the top coaches that were up there, it was that they were consistent day in and day out, and they never gave up. I can say, I know for myself, like, if I do a real check, I haven't been consistent since day one. I haven't. So I know that's why I'm not there yet. But it was a reminder to me that I can start being consistent at any point that I want to, if I own up, if I do the things that I know that I have to do, and I'm really, truly, like, scary honest with myself. If I'm consistent in that way, and I start right now, where am I going to be next year at Summit? That was one of those takeaways for me. Gary Vaynerchuk was one of the big speakers that, like, he's a no-nonsense guy. If you've never read any of his books, do it. If you've never watched him speak, get on YouTube and watch him speak. He's very, like, in your face and blunt, and so not me, but he spoke to me very loudly. And I know Victoria felt the same way. That's where she heard some of her stuff. And one of the things that he said, it's really harsh, but it's so true. If your business isn't growing, it's because you're not working hard enough. And that is really hard to hear when you're like me and you're like that emerald personality where you work. But he pointed out that we're all wasting time in certain ways. We all have time wasters. And it just kind of helped bring that into the light, helped me to remember that, yeah, I do have certain things that maybe I don't realize. But he helped bring it to the front for me and helped me to remember that I have to own up for those things. I have to be aware of my time at all times. I have to track my time. I have to schedule my time. I have to treat this like a business if I want it to take off. About posting, some of you touched on this. How do you attract your tribe? You have to think about these two things. What made you join? And are you posting like that? Because if you're not posting thinking about what made you join, you're going to attract all different kinds of people. You need to make sure you're doing it in a way that attracts people like yourself. And then when you don't do you, you don't get done, and the world misses out. That was one of those. Let me say it one more time because it sounds crazy. When you don't do you, you don't get done, and the world misses out. And that's what I wanted to end my sharing with you on, because I know for myself and a lot of my team, we struggle with that, just being secure in sharing totally authentically who we are. And it was a huge takeaway for me that if you are not sharing who you are, the world's going to miss out on what you have to offer. And there are people out there that specifically, yes, there are 300,000, 400,000 coaches, but each and every one of us is unique. And each and every one of us has our specific attributes, personality traits, crazyisms, all of those things that connect with a certain group of people. And those are going to be the people that are drawn to you if you're sharing authentically who you are. If you're sharing authentically the puzzle pieces of your story. And if you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open up to those things. So it was just one of those kind of gut checks for me. Am I just sharing the happy positives of this, or am I being real and opening up? And so those questions that Pam shared, I'm going to take those and post them up here on my board and remind myself of that every time I post. Am I doing those specific things to share who I am with everybody that follows? So that was me. And Kenzie, you're the last one. Let me see. Oh, you're Matt's iPad. Here you go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, am I echoing really bad? Because I'm in a bathroom.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm at my sister's bridal shower thing, so I had to step away, and like my little sister was literally like following me around, and I was like, I'd rather just be alone. So thank you to all the coaches that got on. Can we take a little selfie real quick? Can somebody screenshot so I can make a post later?
I got it.
Yeah, I do. Is everybody on? Like, is it just me, or are there little faces down there?
Let me make sure I have.
Because I don't want a picture of just me.
Okay, I got it. Okay, everybody, smile. Got it.
Okay, send that to me. Okay, so I didn't take any notes, as usual. I just don't. But I have to piggyback off of a lot of the coaches that just spoke. Pam made some really good points, and Annie and Christy, you guys talked about posting and posting to your audience. I have a very specific kind of team. I attract business builders because I work and I post about working, and I post about the income and whatnot. So somebody at Summit was talking about taking an avatar. So like literally name your person. Name them. How old are they? Do they have kids? What do they do for a living? What do they do for fun? Like write down who that is. Who are you? And name that person. And then literally when you're posting, post to that person's needs and that person's emotions. Because that's the only thing that's going to get anybody to get into this business as a customer or as a coach is emotion and need. So that's one thing that I noticed. Let's see what else. I really wanted to go over like the actual Summit like product releases too.
I did it at the beginning. You got
it?
Good. Yep.
I'm sorry it took me so long to get on.
No, I tell everybody you have wedding stuff going on. You're fine.
Yeah. So I was like, I was freaking this fuck out. Like I tried to get on Facebook, and this iPad obviously doesn't have Facebook as an app. I'm like, how does that happen? You don't have Facebook as an app? So I had to download that. Then I had to download Zoom. So we went over Fixate. Yeah. Did we go over Fixate?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then we went over, what else? The new program, Core to Force. And the 3-week yoga retreat. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's what I was going to go over.
Sorry.
You already touched on that. But one more thing that I want to share with you guys. I've been reading like the original personal development for like new coaches. It's called Compound Effect. So Compound Effect and GoPro are like the original. Like if you're a new coach and you haven't read those, you need to read those. Those are the two you start out with, like period. The rest will come, personal development, like emotional and like keeping you going. But like GoPro and Compound Effect will help your business so much. So I went back to the basics and I'm reading Compound Effect again. And he talks about momentum. And you guys know, as your upline, I went through some shit in November and December, and I lost momentum. So that spoke to me big time. He talks about how in the beginning of your business, that's the hardest part. Like the first 2 to 5 months, that's when you're really going to have to push as hard as you can. Like work. And he used an analogy of merry-go-round, like at a playground. So think about putting all your friends on a merry-go-round. Think about how hard it is to get that thing to move in the beginning. You're pushing really hard to get any momentum, and then it starts to get easier. And then eventually you hop on and you just coast. I worked my ass off to get to where I am, and I could coast in November and December. I coasted. I didn't work. And I'm still making really good income. It never decreased, but the fact that I worked that hard in the beginning, I created a good momentum. I allowed myself, my business to coast for a little bit. And then obviously he says, once it slows down, you get back off and you push it again. You keep going, So that's where I'm at right now. But I thought that spoke to me because that's where my business was, But I'm just telling you, in the beginning, it is literally the hardest part. So just put your power hour in. I don't want you guys to get off and be like, oh, I have to work like Beachbody 24/7, because that's how I was. And that's literally why I broke my engagement. Was because I was neglecting the relationship. I was all Beachbody. I had no balance. I was on the computer all the time. But so you have to find a balance. If you haven't watched the team chat Lux Republic buckets yet, huge. Like, don't get off this call and be like, I just have to work harder. I just have to work all the time, because then you're going to lose your sanity. You're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to hate this business. And we got to remember why we started, and keep that fun, keep that momentum, keep team calls, keep chatting with your coaches, make it fun. That's why you see in FF1, I don't always share work-related stuff on my team page, because I try to make it fun. I try to make it more of a family atmosphere, like you guys are my buddies, So I want you guys to feel like you can reach out to me, and that's huge as a leader, and Christy would agree. You have to be a good friend. That's the only thing that keeps our coaching business going, is you have to be our client's friend. You have to be your coach's friend. If you're not, then they're going to fall off the face of the earth and not communicate with you. That's about it. That's all I have.
That's good. That's awesome.
But any questions?
Yeah, the last thing I had was question and answer, if we have any. Anybody brave enough to holler out?
Yeah.
I will unmute you guys. Ooh.
So,
Maybe not. I'm not going to unmute
You guys
everybody.
have to go to Summit. You have to go to Summit. It's a must.
Truth.
I don't know how to get that across to people, but take the vacation, plan on it, start saving now, make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that investment, yes, it's a trip that costs some money. But if you don't invest in your business, if you don't invest in yourself, just like our health, if we don't invest in ourselves, how are we ever going to continue to move forward? So it's one of those investments you just have to make. It can't be about the money. Questions?
I have something. I don't have a question, but I want to say, with going to Summit, have you guys seen like your volume skyrocket? Yeah, you have? Okay. Any live event, even like Super Saturdays, Summit, Super Saturdays, if you put that on your social media, people are following you, and a lot of them they think that this is all fake. Like, this is just like, what is Beachbody? But when they see the amount of coaches and like all this success and fun and like atmosphere and all these relationships, they're like, holy shit, like this is actually legit. So my inbox blows up when I'm at live events, like Super Saturday or Summit, like literally blows up, and people are like, oh, this isn't like a joke. This is for real. Because I get the question all the time, you really do this full time? Like, this is your full-time job? I'm like, yeah, for 3 years, motherfucker. So yeah, Summit and Super Saturdays are a must. That's all I have.
Melissa asked about momentum. She said, how do you harness that momentum? And I think that my initial response, and she's heard me say a million times, but I think it's good for us to hear. I need to hear it all the time. So momentum is not going to happen unless you are consistent for a long period of time. And like Kinsey said, that first month to 5 months, you work really hard at that consistency thing. And if you aren't consistent that whole time, it's not going to start taking off in 5 months. It's going to do this kind of thing. You have to be as consistent as you can possibly be. And like people will say, oh, and I'm not talking to you, Melissa, I'm talking in general. People will say, I got busy with work. I couldn't post today. That like literally messes up everything on Facebook. If you skip a single day of posting, your affinity goes back to 0. And you have to build that all the way back. Like it takes a long time to get people's eyes consistently on your stuff. For you to be at the top of the newsfeed and seen, it takes a lot of consistent posting. It's not like you can just post for a week and then all of a sudden you're on the top of everybody's newsfeed. It's not like that. Like you have to be consistent always. And people say, oh, but isn't that awful that like you have your phone in your hand all the time with your family, and like, don't you ever want a day where you don't have your phone in your hand? Sure, schedule your posts. If you have a family event coming up or you have something going on, you can take those posts and literally schedule them on Hootsuite. I don't recommend doing that all the time because Facebook doesn't like third parties, but it's better than not posting. But I mean, I sit down and every night before I go to bed, I write out my schedule on a piece of paper or on one of these things I use with a dry erase marker. I literally write out my whole day the next day, my to-do list, and I like categorize it because I'm totally that emerald personality. I have my A, B, C to-do list. I do that every night, and that includes my posts. So I never run into that moment where I'm like, oh no, I'm scrambling to come up with a post and I should be spending time with my family right now, and I'm that person on my phone at the dinner table. I don't do that because my family is important enough to me and my business is important enough to me to schedule it. So I schedule those posts. Now, does that mean that I literally like live by that schedule at all times? No. If stuff pops up that's more relevant, I'll cancel one of the posts I had scheduled and put that more relevant thing in there. But then I'm not left with nothing to post, scrambling, and I go, screw it. I'm going to be with my family right now. So I cannot say enough. The posting momentum comes from consistency. The business momentum comes from vital behavior and following your back to a T power hour every day consistency. You have to do that, and you have to track. There's no way around it. Like you have to do that if you want to succeed. So I can't say that enough. I say it to my team all the time, and you guys are probably like, okay, we know you're organized, but we're not. You have to get there. Like you do. You have to get there.
I'm not organized at all. And the reason they did the power hour and they do lists, we have to work off a list. In order to create consistency, you have to work from lists first, because otherwise you're just gonna be like, wow, all the time. So that's where your consistency is gonna come from, is your power hour. And I'm sure I sound like a broken record too on my team page. My team literally hears power hour almost daily, because that's the only way you're gonna get consistency. And I think a lot of people, they don't see that instant gratification. They're like, oh, I did my power hour for a week and nothing. And I'm like, no, you got to do it every single day, no matter what. You're going to get no's. You're going to feel discouraged, which is exactly why we have to read personal development, because we have to feed our minds and we have to be positive, And then also, I remember as a newbie coach, I was a month or two in, and Raina said on one of our team calls, and our team calls at that point were like 6 people. Can you imagine? Lecture public, 6 people. But she goes, I don't care if you're puking sick, you have to post. Have to. And I was like, and I heard that as a new coach, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. Heck yeah, I'm down. And I believed in the business. I was like, well, Rana's doing it, then why not me? You know, and I actually last 2 years ago, I was number 39 in the company. I was above Mindy Winder, which I don't know if you guys know who Mindy Winder is. But
Thank you.
she was like I was like starstruck from her, and when I saw my name above her, I was like, anyway. So that came from consistency, and because I heard as a new coach, which that's why I'm telling you guys this. You guys are new coaches or newer coaches. Hear this and know that you can do it too. You can do this. And well, I was gonna say something else. Forgot what I was gonna say.
What you said was good.
There's something really important. I'm probably gonna have to post it in the team page. Lost my train of thought. But yeah.
It's all good. I got off on a tangent too.
Well, I better get back to my family.
Okay, yeah, it's about 10 now. So thank you guys for getting on. I hope that was helpful for you. I know it was for me. I'm like, Pam, give me those questions.
Sure to send me that picture, okay?
Yes, I will. I actually sent it already.
Oh, okay.
I was sneaky down here.
Yay! All right.
All
Thanks
right. Okay, good night, guys. See you later. Thank you, everybody.